Hey everyone, Mike RC here, and the episode you're about to listen to is awesome. However, I know right now a pressing issue is definitely around COVID-19 or the coronavirus and what to do around all that. So what I've decided to do was, yes, we're still going to run this awesome episode as Danny White is fantastic and he drops some really good information that is very useful to you. But what I also want to do is share with you a separate podcast that I made that really just helps fitness studios overcome the challenges that are coming along with COVID-19 and how to remain successful during it. So if you want to check out that podcast, it's different than this one. I'm only uploading, 2 to 7 minute episodes, right? They're really quick and they're just really sharing ideas from the 1,000 plus fitness studios that we work with and 50 plus franchises that we get connected with. And really just sharing ideas on what's working well, how they're still being successful, how they're communicating this with their members, their employees, and how they're preventing themselves from going out of business, if anything, even thriving. So you can go to gsdcovidupdates.com to check out that podcast. Again, that's gsdcovidupdates.com. You can check out that podcast for free. And for right now, though, on to the episode with Danny White. In this episode, I'm here with Danny White, owner of 4 successful fitness studios that are able to run without him having to be there.
It's the people. I would not be able to do this without the people. So hiring once, hiring right is definitely my motto.
And today we're going to learn how to be successful in markets where most fitness studios wouldn't even think of opening their business.
You have pockets and communities all across that are actually dying for some type of services like this, but they're being neglected based on the big box mentality or corporate mentality of they don't fit our demographics.
And how to create the perfect member journey to drive home more sales with every prospect visit.
In the masses, as soon as one person goes, it's a domino effect. Everyone else almost feels obligated to join.
All right, so whether you are an independent studio or part of a franchise, this is going to be one of your favorite episodes on the GSD show, and I'll tell you why. If you're a franchise, you'll actually be able to see a lot of things that a lot of franchises are actually doing, but could be doing better with some really cool processes and systems. And if you're an independent, well, there's some good news for you. I'm actually going to show you how you don't have to be a part of a franchise to build a brand from scratch and be able to grow it profitably without even having a ton of space. So today, I've got Danny White from LA Pilates. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
Yep. Guys, I'm Mike RC. Welcome back to another episode of the GSD show. As you know, we've got many different styles of shows on the GSD show, and today is a raw episode because we got a great studio owner here. You've got 3 locations that are open already, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you're in California, so you got one in Carlsbad and you got 2 in LA, right?
Yes, Downey and Norwalk.
Downey and Norwalk. And you've got 2 more opening, is that right?
Yes, that's going to be La Habra and Long Beach.
Okay. What I found really fascinating about your locations, a couple things actually. One is you've got a really good amount of members for the amount of size space that you have, and that size for Pilates, because Pilates uses reformers, which take up a lot of space. So what's your average space at each location?
Our average space is 1,500 square feet.
So about 1,500 square feet, and you got 12 reformers in there, plus you got the lobby, right? And how many members you got like 400 plus members and then 300 something and 300 something, is that right?
Correct. Each studio has over 300 members. Our newest location in Downey has over 400.
Okay.
And that's all been done with 1,500 square feet.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Them.
And you're not cheap. You're charging like up to $189 or so, and your average is about $140. And what's even more fascinating is you're not just charging those prices in the areas where most people want to open up high-end studios, right? Correct. You're opening up in like areas that generally franchises like to stay away from because the demographic doesn't seem to meet the criteria.
100%.
Right.
So, yeah, to elaborate on that, typically franchisees or franchises have stayed away from areas that are
Hispanic speaking, that kind of deal, right?
Hispanic speaking demographics, just to be transparent. And what I've found is they've greatly neglected a big part of the buying population, especially within California, but across the US, you have pockets and communities all across that are actually dying for some type of services like this, but they're being neglected based on the big box mentality or corporate
Right.
mentality of they don't fit our demographics.
Right. And the funny thing is, the facts are facts, right? I'm half Hispanic, so I get it, right? Like, but at the end of the day, by demographic and by data, who tends to spend more money on services like the ones that you're selling. And so that's generally why they like staying away from that population. However, now they're all competing together for the population that should be buying a little bit more often. And this one that may not, according to stats, buy as often is kind of wide open. And
100%.
you just go in there and attack those spots.
Yes, 100%. So it's looking for that blue ocean, right? And so this is that blue ocean. And it's something that's highly needed in those areas and communities because they don't have any resources in their areas for those services. They have to drive 30 miles, 20 miles to obtain these services in another city. And it's very costly and not time effective or efficient.
Yeah,
nor is it good for the city.
Yeah, they're not going to do it. Okay, so I want to talk to you about how you've been able to do that. And when I bring somebody on the GSD show in a raw episode, which is what we're in, was a GSD raw episode, it's because they're a studio owner that's particularly good at like one or two things. And what I think you're really good at is that sales process, and I think marketing too. But I think more so in how you take that marketing and how you immediately funnel into a really good sales process. It flows in really, really well. And we're going to do that end to end today. Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, great. So what was your first location before we get in?
First location was our Norwalk location.
Okay. And then how soon after did you open up the next location?
We actually had to open up another Norwalk location because we maxed out our first studio. We opened up a small space initially. It was 1,100 square feet.
Yeah.
We maxed that out in the first 6-7 months. So we had to find another space, and we found another one a mile away, and 1 mile away, and we filled that place up as well.
So when you say you've got like 440 members and 380 members, I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing you basically have 800 members in a 2-mile radius.
Correct.
Dude, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for Pilates
100%.
At that price point in that part of town.
100%. So we are, Norwalk, California, for those that don't know where it's at, it is, about 5 miles east of Compton, California. Highly Hispanic demographic, same thing with Downey. And those are our 2 highest clubs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how soon after did you open up your Carlsbad?
Actually, Carlsbad was the second location.
Okay.
And the third location was Downey. So Downey is our newest location, and it's been a blast.
And you got 2 more opening up?
Yes.
When do those open up?
We're going to be opening those up this year within the next 6 months.
What's the ultimate goal? Are you looking to build a franchise, or are you just looking to have a good collection of studios?
I'm looking to have a good collection of studios, kind of like an in-and-out approach, right?
Yeah.
Where we could own that quality control. What I've noticed with working with other franchisees is the brand and the effectiveness of it in your play starts to dwindle down when you start having other franchisees with not enough experience to run a fitness facility.
How involved are you with these studios?
I am. I'm there about 1 day a week.
To each one of them?
To each one.
Even the Carlsbad one that's way out in San Diego?
Yeah, that's more like once a month, if that.
So you're there to the two locations you have open. You're there maybe once a week, once a month to the one that's in Carlsbad, and they're growing like that without you.
100%.
So what does that tell you guys that are listening right now? Some really good systems and processes put in place, and building a studio. You don't have to be in these things 80 hours, 90 hours a week. I mean, maybe the beginning if you're really building it up, but I mean the goal is not to run a business, to own a business. You don't run a business, you own several businesses, and they're running really well because you got great systems in place, and I'm assuming you got really good people running those systems.
And you just hit it right there, it's the people. I would not be able to do this without the people, so hiring once, hiring right is definitely my motto. You don't always get it right, but I look for personality. And you can't train personality. You're not going to teach them a different personality over time. So I try to hire off of personality, and I don't worry about the rest of their necessarily their experience and resume and all that. I look for the person, the individual. If they're coachable, and they have that right winning personality, then that's someone I want to bring on part of the team. And then I teach them how to execute, my play that I've come up with over the years of being in the fitness industry. And then we just role play on that daily. And, and then my staff role plays with each other. And that's how we're able to execute on such a high level.
One of the more popular guests we've had on the show is Matt Kafora, and he said the same thing. He's got 7 studios. He really likes hiring off of character and personality and energy. And then from there, knowing that because they've got that can-do, will-do attitude, they can do and will do all the things that need to be done on the skill set side.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
100%. It's almost, I like to relate it to sports a lot of the times. Anytime someone's played sports or they have that competitive edge, that typically makes a stronger salesperson in the fitness industry because they're used to being told no or having to work a little bit harder. And it gives a competitive edge to them to where now sales becomes their football game, right? And that's their game day to day now. And so they'll challenge themselves internally to push themselves harder and harder versus someone who doesn't have that tenacity, from years of experience playing sports.
Right.
And building that strength.
And one of the things that I really like about, the way you are running your business is you're not only not afraid of sales, but you really appreciate the importance of having a really great sales process and then executing it with perfection. And so I do want to talk about that. So let's take it, I want to go through the journey. Like if I'm a member, is that okay?
Yeah.
Like my member journey.
Okay.
So let's say I'm a prospective member, a couple miles away from your studio. I'm assuming I'm seeing ads, right? You guys are running ads?
100%.
Where are you running ads right now?
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So I see an ad on Facebook, right? Is there an offer?
Yes.
Generally, what kind of offer do you like running?
Try a free class.
Free class. You ever do anything else?
Once in a while, we'll do a 7-day free pass,
Okay.
which is unheard of in the Pilates industry,
Right.
typically.
Of the space that you have, right?
The space that's available. But with our sales process, we're able to bring those people in and convert them at a higher rate when they do come in off of a 7-day pass. So
And
we'll
get
run
them
that.
on the first day anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Do you ever do any other type of offers, whether it's paid offers, like at 10 for 10, 30 for 30, anything like that?
No.
You always like people coming in free, seeing what you've got, and then from there, taking them through your process.
100%, because my big takeaway on paid offers is you're having to sell that person twice.
Right.
So if you do 30 days for $30 or 6 weeks for $99, well, at the end of those 6 weeks, what are you having to do?
Yeah.
You're having to resell that person and trying to sign them up again.
Right.
So me personally, I get, it's paid traffic coming through your door, but again, if you have a strong sales process and people in place, you can give the place away for free, get the traffic in the door, and now you're going to get that sale right away.
If you've watched any of my content, I'm a fan of free. I like free the best. We actually, the only time we do paid offers is when the studio is super adamant about doing paid offers, right? Or the franchise. I personally believe, least barrier of entry, get them in the door. There's people out there saying like LBOs, low barrier offers are no good, but I mean, I think the only reason they're no good is because you don't have a sales process for that low barrier offer. You're wanting to run the same type of play. It's like go back to like sports, right? Running a play for Shaq to shoot a 3 at the end is very different than running a play for Steph Curry to shoot a 3 at the end. If it doesn't work, it's not because the play didn't work. It's because you had the wrong guy shooting the ball, and that's not the way the process should be. Same thing with low barrier offers. If you're running to run a sales play that's not meant and built and designed for a low barrier offer or a free, then you're going to be in trouble. You're not going to see the same results. And so you, I'm assuming, have a really great process. You know they're coming in for free, so you know where their mindset's at, and you know what you have to say and do in order to get them to go from free to, here's my money, I want to become a paying member ongoing.
Yes, 100%.
Great. Okay, so I see your ad on Facebook or Instagram. I'm assuming you do video and image ads, or do you just like one or the other?
No, I go with video every
video.
time. I like showing people what we have. I'll use different thumbnails and everything. But the biggest thing that I like to point out, for paid ads and paid offers on Facebook is, I don't go to Facebook and Instagram to buy something.
Right.
I go there to, most people
Check
go there.
stuff out.
Yeah, they're scrolling and trolling, bored at home, on the toilet, ignoring their family, whatever it might be, right? So why is someone going to just be enticed to buy something off of Facebook from your ad? You're going to get more bang for your buck off of Facebook and Instagram by giving them something for free, like you said, low low barrier offer, and get them in for free, and now your sales process has to take place.
Right. You go to Facebook for information. You go to Amazon to buy. Amazon's got that part dialed in.
You
right?
got it.
But we are here. They're here for information. They're ready to read, watch videos. That's why they're there.
Exactly.
Okay. So I see your offer. From there, I click on your ad. I'm assuming I either go to some landing page or there's a lead ad or something. But bottom line is, I submit my information. Correct.
Yes.
Once my information gets into your system, right? Because I hit submit. At that point, you have automation in place, whether it's email, texts, anything like that?
Yes, we have a text funnel in place.
Okay.
We're not big on email.
Okay.
Personally, just, I found that more success comes from the text messaging side.
I agree.
And so yes, we have a text funnel set up. Once they become a lead, they get text within the first 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then, depending on what happens on the outcome of that text, they'll either receive another one, a few days later, or they'll be scheduled for an appointment to come in.
So I'm a prospect. I get a text from you. What does it say? What are you saying to me?
It's going to say, "Hey, Mike, thanks. This is Danny at LA Pilates. Thanks for redeeming your free class. Is tomorrow or the next day better for you?"
That's really cool. Okay. Now, if I reply, you have systems in place to where if I reply tomorrow, is it automated or is there a human being replying?
It's actually automated through the system we use. So if they said tomorrow or the next day, it's then going to trigger the next message to that person, trying to get them scheduled into the available class based on what they answered.
And will it show available class times somehow by integrating with your calendar and what you got available, or how does that work?
Well, so what I found is when you try to automate the appointment scheduling side to the actual prospect, you get less of a show rate and you get less actually.
I've seen the same thing.
Yeah, you get less actual appointments being scheduled. So you can't automate everything, right? And people don't like to schedule an appointment, so think about scheduling a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment. You do pretty much everything you can to avoid it. The same thing's true with an appointment for fitness. So we try not to make it about an appointment. We just, hey, when would you come in and take a class, right? When would you get your next workout? Everything's about the workout and what we're doing there in the facility to get that time scheduled.
Hey, hold on. I know this episode's really good and you want to get back to it, but before we do, it's important you help me with something. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this show so that we can get more and more people to hear about it like you do. All right, thanks. Back to the episode.
Yeah, and the truth is, you can automate it, but sometimes the best technology is not the newest technology, right? So even though, there's technology now where you can automate the process where they'll just book themselves. Yeah, I get it. But is that going to be the best avenue? Just because it exists, it may be the best for you, but is it the best for the actual end goal?
Well, it's the easiest, right?
Easiest for you.
It's the easiest for the owner.
I meant easiest. Easiest for you because you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But does it get you to the goal just as good as if you were picking up the phone, old technology, and actually make sure you have a conversation and get them in the door?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll actually, let's talk about that. So let's say I see that text, I say tomorrow. Okay, so now that I said tomorrow, what happens?
So they're going to get that next text saying, for the next class, let's say it's tomorrow at 1 p.m. And they say, great, I have a class at 1 p.m. tomorrow. I'm going to get you scheduled at that time, right? Or asking a question, right? Making sure that they're going to get engaged because through texting, you have to ask a question if you're looking to get a response.
Right, of course.
You can't just say, okay, great, see you then.
Yeah,
you need to get confirmation from them that they are going to come in. And then from there, setting an appointment reminder so that those people then get reminded to come in and anything that they might need. So at our studio, it's a Pilates studio, so we require grip socks. So we remind them to bring their grip socks in.
Through the text,
the day before.
So let's actually go through the journey so I can see it, right? So I say tomorrow, you say, great, how's tomorrow at 1? Is that automated or is that a human?
That's actually automated if they responded tomorrow, right? But let's say they didn't. They say, I can do tomorrow. Well, then a human's going to need to respond back to that individual.
Got it. So if they just use the word tomorrow, it'll do it. But if they say, I think I can do tomorrow, then a human would be able to get involved.
Yeah, and we would have our staff, respond back. So most studios have one rep at a time, right? They're set up with an assistant manager and a sales manager. So there's only one salesperson working at a time.
Right.
There's only so much that they can do and remember. So what the system that I use, it's going to automate all of the follow-ups for them, initiate the conversation, but then their job is just to respond back.
Got it. Okay.
So it takes away half of the workload.
So let's say I say tomorrow. Okay. The message I get now is, okay, so how's tomorrow at 1? And I say, how about 3 o'clock?
Yeah. So then that's where our person's going to actually respond back
So
and
let's
say,
go,
great.
like, what would it, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to say, hey, great, I have a class at 3 o'clock. Or if we did not, which at our studio we don't have one at 3 o'clock,
Right.
we're going to throw 2 other suggestions to them, right, on that same day.
So let's say you say 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I say, yeah, 5 o'clock works. Now what do I get back?
So I'm going to say, awesome, great, I'll see you then, right? And I'm not going to ask a question at that point. And then I'm going to set an appointment reminder for them. So let's say the appointment is tomorrow, they're going to get their appointment reminder 2 hours prior, reminding them to bring in their grip socks.
Now, how do I know what grip socks are? Because I just randomly. So if you say, hey, don't forget to bring your grip socks, I'm going to say, what do you mean?
Exactly, right? And now that creates engagement. And then from there, our sales rep's going to say, oh, grip socks you're going to need to wear them while you're in the class. They're going to help you, non-slip. Most people know what they are, but if they don't know what they are, then it's an opportunity for us to then sell them at the store. Because they'll say, well, I don't know where to get grip socks from. No worries,
Don't worry,
we have some here. Yeah.
Got it.
And now they know that they're set, ready to go. They feel good, but more importantly, they've been confirmed for their appointment, and now they're going to actually show up.
Got it, cool. And then, so let's say I said tomorrow at 5. When you said I get 2 hours before I get a confirmation text. So at 3 o'clock tomorrow, I get a text. What'd that text say?
It would say, hey, Mike, don't forget we have an appointment at, we have an appointment at 5 p.m. See you then. Don't forget, your grip socks. Yeah.
Cool. 5 o'clock comes in. I walk in. Well, am I coming in at 5? The class starts at 5? Or am I
10 minutes prior. So within that message, I left it out. It says, please arrive 10 minutes early and bring grip socks.
Perfect. Got it. So I walk in the door, let's say 4:45, 4:50. What's my experience like? I just walked in.
You walked in. You're greeted by the rep at the front. Hopefully they know who your name is, because we only have 12 people per class.
Right.
So
is the rep an instructor, or is it like a front desk / studio manager or something like that?
Front desk / studio manager. Instructor separate. We don't have our instructors do any selling. We have them just focus on teaching, and that's it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So I know some studios try to do the opposite, do both, a hybrid approach.
A lot of them just don't buy in enough. The instructors don't buy in sometimes.
Well, a trainer skill set is one. Sell skill set is another. Most trainers don't like to sell. There's a reason why they became a personal trainer. Their passion is helping people through their fitness journey,
Right.
not necessarily having a conversation about finances to get them involved.
100%.
So
100%. Okay, so I get greeted. So let's do it. I walk in. We're here. We're in the scene.
Yeah.
You're the person that's greeting me.
Yeah.
So I walk in right now. I'm a little lost. I just kind of look around. What's going on?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm Danny. Very nice to meet you. Is this your first time at LA Pilates?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Have you ever done a Pilates class before?
I have not. It's my first time.
Oh, man, you're going to love it. Do me a favor. Fill this out real quick.
Okay.
You can have a seat right there. Do you have any grip socks with you?
I don't, but I heard I can get some here.
Oh, yes. So we have them for sale right here.
Okay.
Go through that.
How much are they?
They're $10.
Okay. All right,
Or I have a pair of loaners that you can borrow if you don't feel like buying a pair today.
Oh, okay.
They are previously worn.
Yeah.
They are washed, but they're previously worn.
Got it. I'll buy some 10.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
$10. Okay.
So yeah, just do me a favor, fill this out, and what we do is we have them fill out what I call a GFP. That's old school guest fitness profile, right? Okay. So back in the day.
By the way, I love the loaners. They have been worn. They have been washed, but they haven't.
They have been washed.
There's something about wearing someone else's socks or underwear. Like you don't want to wear someone else's socks, underwear, or shoes.
Exactly.
Like those are maybe even hats, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So I go fill it out. Go ahead.
So you fill out the GFP. So guest fitness profile. This is the number one thing that I see most gyms not doing, is they try to make everything digital in that aspect. There is something to be said about a person writing down their goals, writing their name, writing their email.
As you saw our sticky wall, right? We write our goals every day. We write our goals every night. I write my goals every day. There's something about pen to paper.
If you ink it, you think it.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we have them fill out a GFP. Our GFP has a series of questions on there, though. Does your spouse support? What are your have you ever done a Pilates class before? Do you have any injuries that we should be made aware of? What are your goals? What are your, if you were a member, what days, and times are going to be the best for you to work out? Things like that. So then we're able to take that information while they're in class and really get a good idea of where this person is without necessarily having to have an in-depth conversation, because in a studio, you don't have the chance to get a one-on-one sale when you're doing group classes.
Right.
Unless you don't have enough people. That's another story.
How long would it take for me to fill this thing out?
Less than 5 minutes.
It's that quick.
It's that quick.
So one page or one side.
One page, one side. There's no front and back. Nothing. Everything's right there, and that's their release of liability as well. So
there's a lot of paragraph with the liability. So
there's
it's
a little
really not
paragraph
that
down.
much stuff.
Not at all.
Okay, cool. So all right, I finished filling out. Okay, I'm done.
Awesome. So now I'm gonna take you back, make sure you're all set up. I'm gonna show you where to put your stuff inside the cubbies.
Okay.
I'm gonna introduce you to a member, if pending.
Dude, that's one of my favorite. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. And usually it's a loyalist, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, loyalist.
Yeah, okay. Cool. I'm going to introduce you to a member. Okay.
I introduce them to a member, then I introduce them to the instructor. Actually, not in that specific order. Whoever I see first.
Closest when you're walking towards them.
Whoever's closest. Yeah. Introduce them to the instructor. Hey, this is Ashley. She's going to be your instructor today. If you have any questions, concerns, please feel free to contact her or ask her. And then from there, I'm actually taking them to the reformer, trying to give them just as much information in the shortest time as possible to make them feel comfortable, because they've never done it before.
Right.
If you've never done something before, you're going to be apprehensive and unsure of yourself.
You don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So trying to diffuse them and make them as comfortable as possible and making it inviting for them.
Right.
And really what, at my studios, what I always try to pride myself on is, I don't know if there's a lot of millennial listeners here, but...
yeah, I'm a millennial, technically.
Well, technically,
right?
I am too.
Millennials aren't young anymore.
Yeah, we're not. But Cheers, right?
Right.
So you remember the TV show Cheers?
Yeah.
So their motto was, everyone knows your name.
Right.
Right? That's our motto at our studio. When you walk in, you're greeted by your first name. So that's what we pride ourselves on doing. And when you have that type of community within your studio, it becomes a snowball effect.
Right.
Because those people become even more loyal and more loyal. And if they have financial problems or issues, lose their job, they're going to keep their sanctuary with all their friends and their loyalists and their cheers, right?
I agree.
But if it's awkward and it's weird, or they're greeted by a different person every time they're there.
Any type of discomfort is hurting your sales process.
Yes.
They've got to feel good, because an uncomfortable mind never buys.
Yes.
My belief is there's two reasons people don't buy. They're not the decision maker, or they're not certain. Whether it's not certain it's going to work, they're not certain I'm going to work, they're not certain it's good for me, I'm not certain about the people, I don't like there's some level of uncertainty.
Agreed.
With certainty makes you take action. All right, so you walked me through, you took me to the instructor, you introduced me to the loyalist, you got me on my reformer now, you made me feel comfortable with the reformer. I go through my class. I'm assuming throughout the class, does the instructor pay a little bit more attention to me?
No. So what we do is we'll do an intro class, right? So we have an intro class for all first timers.
Oh, so I'm part of a class where everyone's new.
Correct.
Who's the loyalist you introduced me to?
Well, at that point, there is no loyalist at that particular point, or it's from the last class, and typically that's what happens.
So
I'll introduce someone
it.
from the class that's ending, and all those women or men are coming out.
So the first time classes generally start after another class is ending.
Correct.
Where veterans are part of.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, cool. So everyone here is first timers. So now the instructor is able to really take their time and do things that are at my level, at my pace, somebody that's never done this before, right?
Yeah.
Or at least at your studio.
Correct.
Correct. Okay, great. How long is this class?
It's a 30-minute class on the intro class. Regular classes are 50 minutes long, so we run a 30-minute intro class.
And is that so you have time to sell?
Exactly.
That's interesting. So that's something that a lot of people don't do.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, cool. Because they'll tell people come in 30 minutes early, or don't have to sell afterwards when there's another class going, which is that all works. It's fine. But I like how you chop yours to 30, and then you give yourself, no matter what, 20 minutes or so.
Well, the big key and trick and secret is, if you're doing group training, you need to be doing group sales.
Of course, yeah.
You can't isolate 7 people with
Right.
1 or 2 reps.
Right.
So what we do is, or what I like to call it, is the clipboard presentation. So we actually have the pricing set up, on clipboards. We'll go through at the end of class, and we'll pass a clipboard out to every single person.
So if there's 8 people in that class, there's 8 clipboards handing out, everyone's got the same thing on their clipboards.
Correct.
Okay, and then what's on the front? Is it the price sheet?
It's the price sheet, right?
Okay.
So we're showing the rates of what they are, and then from there we go into a speech, right?
Okay.
So we'll give our speech, and it's basically our spiel, right? At that time, we're building value in the brand. and what they get, what they offer, what we have, how it's going to benefit them. And then from there,
Well, really quick, let's go in. How long is a speech typically?
less than 10 minutes.
Okay, so we're not going to be able to go into it all, but generally, what are the main points I'm getting from the speech? If I'm here sitting down with my clipboard, what are the main things I'm taking away from your speech that make me moved or get closer to buying?
So it's going to be highlight what Pilates actually does, how it's going to benefit them. Because you haven't had a chance to really go in depth and talk one-on-one, you need to sell them on the benefits of Pilates and why they need to do it.
Versus every other type of fitness.
Exactly, and how it's going to benefit them individually and why they came to the right place, and that making them feel comfortable in where they're at and to start their fitness journey with us.
Okay.
A lot of people that we do get in Pilates studios or just in general are a lot of people who are out of shape, your baby boomers or your moms who, post-pregnancy.
30s to 50s,
exactly.
maybe a little older.
30, 35, 55 is the general age range. But the thing about these particular people, most of them have never worked out before, right? So they have no baseline to go off of where they're at physically. So this it's new to them, right? It's like most people who walk into a gym, they don't know what to do. That's why they buy a personal trainer.
Right.
So we're group personal training, right? So we're bridging that gap for people who can't necessarily afford a personal trainer and don't know how to work out.
So now you go into, this is Pilates, this is why it's awesome, this is why it works, this is why it's different, here's how it can help you get results. How do you transition to the close? Because obviously the whole time you've been speaking, I've been seeing the price.
Yeah.
Right, which is great because now what you're doing is you're developing the value. So you show me the price. Not only did I already get some value with the class, but now you're adding and you're stacking the value with all the information that backs up the activity. And so how do you transition from like that last sentence or two in your speech to, and so on your clipboard or whatever you've got, right? So how do you do it? So take me through the end of that last sentence or that last part of that speech into the transition.
Yeah, so as I'm transitioning through, I basically highlight, the class time, schedule, and then I'll ask them to pick up their clipboards and have their attention on that. So initially what I do is I tell them before I start my speech, don't worry about looking at the clipboards right now. I'm going to talk about the pricing after I'm done talking, right? So I set them up to know, hey, don't look at it. Obviously,
but they kind of glance. They've
everyone's
seen it.
looking at it.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
They take a peek at it, and then from there, now it's teeing up your first-time visit incentive. You have to give a first-time visit incentive. These people just tried your class. I'm not saying try to close the person when they first walk in the door.
Right.
But it's their first time there.
Of course.
The likelihood of them buying is at its highest then and there.
Absolutely.
So you always hear the be back bus, right? Well, the be back bus is coming back empty, right?
Right.
Unless you have good processes in place to get those people back. Now, sometimes with a higher price point, you are going to have objections that you can't necessarily overcome in a group setting, and you're going to lose one or two people. But in the masses, as soon as one person goes, it's a domino effect. Everyone else almost feels obligated to join because Susie's joining.
It's been justified.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all sheep. Not all of us, but most people are sheep, right? So as soon as one person goes, yeah, I want to get started, it makes another person go, oh, it is that easy.
Yeah.
It is that easy to say, yeah. What about when somebody goes, oh, this is way too expensive, and stands up?
So we actually try to deaf ear that, or minimize it. Obviously, you can't deaf ear it to everyone if they ask a blatant question in front of everyone. What I do is I highlight what the cost of Pilates cost somewhere else, right? Because a lot of our biggest challenge is because we were the first Pilates studio in the city, and there's never been another one. People don't know what it should be priced at.
Yeah, there's no education around it.
Exactly. So we have to educate them on that. Then they do their research. They'll see, oh, wow, this is actually priced fair and reasonably well. And I can't afford this, right? So then they start looking at cost of personal trainers, what they get with that, boot camps, things like that. And at the end of the day, this makes the most sense for them because it's where they are in their fitness journey, right?
So now let's say you got 3 people that say, I want to do it. You had 6 people, 8 people in the class, 3 people say, I want to do it. Do you have multiple, are they just getting in line?
No, so that's a great question, Mike. And especially when you're a new studio, like going through a soft opening and a grand opening, you're going to have a huge influx of people, right? You're going to have a lot of people in every class. So the average person takes about, if you're really good, 5 minutes to sign someone up in a CRM, right? Whether it's Club Ready, Mind Body, whatever it is. So if you're really efficient, 5 minutes. If you have 12 people in class and all 12 want to join,
you're taking way too long.
Way too long, right?
An hour.
Yeah. And you're well into the next class. People are going to leave, walk out, and be like, I'll come back tomorrow. So you have to have manuals set up, or you have to have some type of online process set up. So that's why we started putting our pricing online. So that way, when we do have this huge influx of guests at once, now we're giving instructions to everyone together. Go on your phone, here's what you do, and I'm signing up 6 people at once.
So you're saying, hey, go on your phone, okay, and you're looking at everyone's screen. Yep, you're on the right spot. Yep, okay, good. Just to make sure they're not making believe they're going through, right? Like that whole thing. You go, yep, do that. Yep, you're all set. You're all good. And now that makes oh, wow, that's really good.
And then the other side, if you don't have
and by
online,
signing up online automatically, it automatically puts them into the CRM because they're all doing it.
Yeah.
So even if it takes each person 8 to 10 minutes, because they're not super efficient, it in total takes you 8 to 10 minutes because everyone's doing it at the same time.
Exactly. Now, if you don't have the online sign-up capability, don't worry. You don't have to, I need to recreate my website. Just get manual agreements.
Right.
Have them ready to go for every class. Have a stack of them ready. And then sign the person up on that, so that way you get the sale right then and there.
Same thing.
And then you get it in.
How many intro classes do you have per week?
I have 4 classes per week.
Intro classes?
Depending on the location, but generally it's about 4 classes per week, sometimes 2.
And you say depending on the location because if you have more members, you have less opportunities for intro classes. Some of those have to get dedicated to members, right?
Correct.
Okay, got it. So you have about 4 intro classes. How many I would say intro classes, what's the average amount of prospects do you have in each intro class on average?
So typically we try, we get about a 50% show rate, right? Which is high in the fitness industry.
Right.
Fitness industry, if you could get a 33% appointment show rate, you're doing good.
Yeah.
We're getting a 50% appointment show rate, and that's due to our internal texting processes that we're using. So if we schedule 12 people, we know we're going to get 6 to show. Some days, maybe 10 show, maybe all 12. But on the average,
the average of how many? I know what your show rates are, but based on everything, appointments booked, show rates, everything, how many prospects are in each intro class on average?
well, a minimum of 6. Right? So we're going to book out every intro class that we have with 12, and then we have a 50% show rate. So we're getting at least 6 people.
So you never have just 2 people in an intro class?
No.
Really?
We would cancel that intro class. It's a waste. It's almost a wasted opportunity, right?
Yeah.
When you only have 2 people in there, the vibe that's created.
So how do you cancel me? I'm one of the people. What do you call me?
I would call you directly, and if you don't answer, I'm not going to leave you a voicemail. I'm going to send you a text message, just like if you're my friend.
And what does that say?
It's going to say, hey, Mike, I'm so sorry. We didn't have, enough people for the intro class today, and just be real with them.
Okay.
You can make up a lie, but
Right.
it's better to be transparent with them and say, hey, we didn't have enough people. Do you have a friend or a family member that you'd like to bring with you to try the class? And now you turn it into getting a lead.
A referral, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you say? Would you like to come to our another intro class that we have?
100%. We reschedule them, and even at that point, if we had to, for those 1 or 2 people, we would give them the option to go into a member class and try it there. And then now we do have the ability to try to sell them one-on-one after class because there's not 12 people in the class.
Once I buy, especially with doing it with my phone, do I walk out with anything? Do I have anything physical walking out of your studio?
You're going to walk out with a free pair of grip socks.
Okay.
Every new member that signs up gets a pair of grip socks. I know it may not seem like much.
No, but it's cool to get something new.
Yeah, because when you go and buy a gym membership, we're selling rainbows and we're selling hopes and dreams because they walk out with a piece of paper that says, hey, you have access to this facility now.
Right.
They haven't accomplished their goals. They haven't done anything.
Nothing's real yet.
Yeah. So we also, we sell retail at our facility. We don't sell supplements, just we're a Pilates studio. It doesn't really fit the mold of what we do. But definitely make sure that we get them something in their hand.
What if I bought grip socks? I still get another free pair
You
of
still get
socks?
another pair of grip socks,
cool.
100%.
Awesome. How about afterwards? Do I get a text or a call or an email when I get home or later the next day or anything like that?
If you showed up to an appointment, you will get a text the same day thanking you for coming in, asking if you have any questions that you might have. Whether you joined or not, it's still applicable. And then if you did become a member, you'll get a text the next day welcoming you to the studio and part of the family. And it's a personal message from our manager.
You do so much with texting, dude, which is great.
Yeah.
So And actually, I want to bring this up. So you started like this whole thing, and you were growing. A lot of that was based on like automated texting and a lot of texting strategies, which I get. I'm getting that more and more. And I remember you started like a company because there was no real companies that were doing everything that you needed it to do. So you didn't start a company. You actually just kind of started the software to help you solve the problem that you felt like you had.
Yeah.
And then it became like a company because after using it for your studios, you were like, I guess we could sell this to other studios too. And so now you've got like, what is it? Ripple SMS, right?
Yeah,
so,
Ripple SMS. So essentially, I could it's like franchising me, essentially, by using the software. You're getting all of these trade secrets.
Are all the campaigns uploaded in there already?
Campaigns are uploaded, so you're getting proven templates that convert.
That's pretty cool.
Right? And so you're not having to try to reinvent the wheel. You could take my experience or, others' experiences and use that to your advantage and not have to, hurt your own lead list trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and so you actually gave me a domain earlier. So if you go to getripplesms.com, right, and then they can go ahead and go in there and then check out like what it is, and you can do a demo with your team too, your
Correct.
Ripple team, I guess, not your LA Pilates team. They go through your Ripple team, they'll take them through a demo, show them how the whole thing works and everything.
100%.
And they'll be able to see the campaign so they can see like, oh, okay, this is how I do it and all that.
Yeah, and it's
awesome.
not just for Pilates studios. I mean, we work with tons of different brands.
Yeah, and I'm just saying more of like your background. We were talking about Pilates today, and now we're just kind of flowing into this while we're here. But yeah. So for everybody watching, listening, like you work with Pilates, but this works for bar, yoga, cycle, like whatever, right? Like fitness.
Yeah, anything fitness, anything monthly recurring membership base.
Yeah, cool. So go to getripplesms.com to be able to get set up there, do a free demo, maybe some cool stuff. And then other than that, man, Danny, thank you so much. This is great. Your process is dialed in. It's great that you're able to, all the things I told you about this off camera, but guys, for everyone listening to this is incredible. You've got a good amount of members, 400, almost 500 members at a location that have like 1,500 square feet in areas that franchises shy away from because of the demographic, with no brand. You're not part of a franchise or anything like that. And you only go into the studios once a week to once a month because they're running fully on their own. It's something to be proud of, man. You're doing a really, really good job. And for everyone watching and listening, that's the key, right? It's not just about running a business, about owning a business. You want to own a business that runs, not run a business. Otherwise, you might as well get a job that pays you worse, right? Because you're not going to make money running the business. But owning a business, now you can scale that, and your people can also grow too. Because if you're running the business, that's one less person you need, and you can't open up that second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th location if that first location still needs you to run it. And so your people are limited in their growth opportunities if you can't transition to own. Dude, it's great. Your people should be proud of you. Other than that, man, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. This has been a great
episode. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the episode, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you leave us a review on iTunes. Check us out on YouTube. Also, if you haven't checked out whatislrvt.com yet, make sure you go there. We've got some really cool stuff for you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. If you like this episode, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, or YouTube. And to watch more episodes and get exclusive links from each episode, go to gsdshow.com. Again, that's gsdshow.com.